So, like many of the other goals, SDG 11 covers a vast range of expertise. Since I specialize in energy efficiency, my presentation will focus on particular targets in the context of Malta and in relation to the well-being of society. SDG 11 addresses sustainable cities and communities. So it aims to make cities inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Essentially, it introduces the concept of sustainable development as one of the principles underlining the well-being of society. But what does the term sustainability mean? Sustainable development should conform, we all know this, to socio-economic, cultural, and environmental conditions. But actually, the primary purpose of buildings have evolved from the provision of shelter to one which caters to health and comfort at minimal environmental impact. Now, that may be what we want, but it is definitely not what we have. Buildings today contribute considerably to greenhouse gas emissions globally, and they are also accountable for a significant percentage of energy consumption. Although the building sector plays an important role in reducing energy demand and greenhouse gas emissions, it also presents considerable challenges in achieving energy savings and in minimizing environmental impact, and Target 11.6 deals specifically with this issue. The objective of reducing environmental impact is not only designed to protect the Earth, it's also designed to protect us through, for example, improved air quality. Now, what is one sure way of improving air quality? Planting trees, protecting our green lungs, creating spaces which are beautiful, peaceful, lush, shaded, where we can relax, where we can enjoy a little bit of nature in our very urbanized environment. Target 11.7 encourages access to green public spaces by 2030, but unfortunately there are a lot of challenges which we have to overcome to get there. And in fact, we seem determined to do quite the opposite. This certainly doesn't augur well for the rest of the targets, since, in my opinion at least, this is probably the simplest of them all. Target 11.2, for example, is significantly harder. It requires that we provide access to safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport systems. Specifically, it encourages facilitating the use of public transport. Now, when we discuss transport systems, if we really want to move towards a sustainable, healthier, safer, and more energy-conscious future, then we shouldn't only be addressing our buses. We should also be thinking about how to facilitate cycling, how to facilitate walking. Pedestrianization, or even semi-pedestrianization of any area, is a radical change, and it's often quite a controversial one. But if it's done well, and other countries have shown us that it can be done well, then what a difference it can make to our quality of life. Moving on to Target 11.1, which deals more directly with my line of work, making adequate, safe, and affordable housing a possibility for all of us. Now, this is becoming harder and harder. Essentially, as the construction industry continues to peak, so do property prices. We can take Valletta as an example of that. Quick search on any agency website will quickly tell you that it's not at all easy for an average couple to buy a standard two-bedroom apartment in Valletta. So what's the solution? Do we accept that certain areas are limited to specific buyers? Do we accept that gentrification will take place? This actually has already happened locally. The most recent example is at least 2 of the Cotonera cities, and the effects have been felt by the community there. There's always the option to go for new development, and in that case, we should turn to target 11.C, which encourages us to construct sustainable and resilient buildings using local material. Interestingly, one of the conditions of building originally in Valletta was that you use material sourced on site. And this is only one of the ways in which our predecessors were much more efficient than we are. Heritage buildings were configured to address the local context, and given our climate, emphasis was placed on passive systems designed to cool our interiors. Unfortunately, I don't have at all enough time to go into this, but I've presented a list of some of the features in typical heritage buildings, which are all designed to make the interiors more comfortable. From my experience and from my research, I can tell you that there's very little appreciation for any of these features. Yet, Target 11.4 strongly urges us to protect and safeguard our cultural and natural heritage, and this includes our architecture. We have at our disposal a built legacy which allows us to be more energy efficient, so let's take advantage. Here, I'm very pleased to say that Her Excellency has taken up this challenge wholeheartedly. By using San Anton Palace as a research case study, we hope to solidify and promote the role of heritage buildings in achieving sustainable development goals and EU targets. By doing so, we're also falling in line with Target 11B, an overarching goal which seeks to adopt and implement means of resource efficiency, mitigation, and adaptation to climate change. We hope to provide an impetus for the challenge to be taken up nationwide, thereby achieving high-level energy reduction. Thank you.